Hey, Rych Babes, welcome back. I'm Bella Dyor, and I'm so happy that you're here with me today. Let's take a moment to review what just happened. That video was just so cringy for us to see that Tiffany Haddish behavior at the New York runway show amongst the Hiltons. Many of you might not have seen or heard about what's been going on, but it has left a lot of us feeling that secondhand embarrassment. This situation is a reminder of why it is so important to stay poised no matter the environment and to never let anyone put you out of your character. So let's get into what actually happened. Tiffany was dared to walk the runway during an intermission of the show, reportedly by the Hilton family who thought it would be funny. It's clear that they were laughing at her and not with her. The unfortunate part, Tiffany, being her spontaneous self, went along with it and interrupted the flow of the show. What many people might not realize is that the impulsive act caused her to be blacklisted from future runway shows. Fashion coordinators and people behind the scenes were visibly uncomfortable when Tiffany tried to interview them. Their body language spoke volume, unease, discomfort, and that lingering vibe of cringe. It's unfortunate, but the situation brings up something bigger and I think it's something we need to address. Why this matters. As Black women, we are already navigating a world that often has its eyes on us, waiting for a moment to confirm the stereotypes that has been placed on us. Loud, ghetto, unprofessional, unpredictable, and so on. And whether it's fair or not, many of these environments, like high-end fashion shows, are not entirely welcoming. This is why we have to remain grounded, composed, and poised, no matter what. Even if it's all good fun, we have to be conscious of the spaces we're in and how we present ourselves. People can easily use one moment to define who we are, and it's vital that we don't allow and let anyone weaponize our joy, humor, or energy against us. So let's get into these videos and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Comment down below your thoughts on this entire situation. And again, Rych Babes, I will be back at the end of this video.
Tiffany Haddish might really be a top 5 most exhausting people of all time. Like, just thinking about her makes me be like, I could lay down right now. I'm tired. For those of you who don't know, it's Fashion Week in New York City right now, and Tiffany Haddish gets invited to a fashion show, and she's sitting next to Kathy Hilton, who is the mother of Paris Hilton. Kathy Hilton, in the middle of the show, there's like a quick little break while the models are walking, tells Tiffany, hey, wouldn't it be so funny if you walked down the runway right now and like strutted like you were owning it? Tiffany's like, oh my gosh, should I do it? And she's like, yeah, it'd be so funny. Like, go ahead, do it, right? I'm obviously improvising. I couldn't hear what they were saying. So Tiffany Haddish goes on the show and down the runway, and they all laugh. Yeah, everybody has a great time. For those of you who don't understand why that's such a big deal, it is because if there is anybody in this world who does not like a joke, who are strict, anybody who like are not easygoing at all, we've all seen The Devil Wears Prada. It's fashion people. Like, fashion people, nothing is funny to them. Nothing is a joke. Like, absolutely not. There's a time and place to play, and in their faces is not a place to play. Not at all. In my personal opinion, based on the information that I have access to, I would like to make an assumption with no facts, just based off of what I'm looking at, what I'm observing, and the assumption that I would make, because I already know how you're going to be these comments. There's my disclaimer. Tiffany Haddish has been very vocal about growing up in foster care and like feeling very alone and kind of never having family. She's also spoken about how the first time that she ever felt kind of like accepted was when she made people laugh, right? So like growing up, that's how she felt included. That's how she made friends. She would make people laugh. I think that even at her age now, she's never had a relationship with like friends, family, a romantic relationship where people have validated her as a person. Where someone sat her down and was like, hey, if you never ever make me laugh again, I still want to be friends with you. I still love you. I still think that you're smart. I still think that you're witty. I still think that you are a caring, sympathetic person. I still think that you have value outside of just doing stupid shit to make me laugh. You don't have to perform for me all the time. You know, like, you can let your guard down and just be a person. And if you are not being entertaining in that moment, I will still love you. Think she's never experienced that, and that's where that like undying urge to like do something stupid to like make people laugh. If I think it'll be funny, I'll do it. To go to these extremes, that's where it comes from. Where she feels like if people are not laughing either with her or at her, then she brings nothing of value to the situation. Then she has nothing to offer. It's very much no different than people who only see value in themselves when people are sexually attracted to them, right? It's people who like need everyone to want to sleep with them, or if not, there's like, what am I good for? It's the same exact thing. People have made you feel like you're only worth and you're only good for one specific thing, then you have this like this thirst, this need to be like, I have to be this person. If not, then like, well, who the fuck am I? Spending her entire life only receiving love and admiration when she, in exchange for her being entertainment for people, puts her in these kinds of situations where she can't tell that she's being treated like a court jester, where essentially they're being like, go monkey dance, and laughing at her expense. It's especially insidious coming from Kathy Hilton when we all know that her daughter, Paris Hilton, has a history of being extremely racist. And I'm willing to bet that Paris Hilton did not learn that from out the blue. I'm willing to bet she learned it at home. To have her mom be like, I'm bored, black girl, entertain me. And Tiffany Haddish getting up with the quickness and chucking and jiving for her is... Let me explain to you in a different way. Over the weekend, Beyonce was at someone's wedding, right? And someone got video of her at the wedding, and they start playing Love on Top, and Beyonce starts singing and dancing Love on Top, but like not like, you know, like dancing with the crowd, right? And I jokingly on Twitter was like, shit, they better than me, I would have handed her a mic, right? I was obviously joking, but let's pretend in a world where they were like, oh my god, since you're here, just perform one little song for us, right? Beyonce would have been like, what the fuck? And then she would have probably been like, actually, if you want me to perform at your intimate event, like, I can give you my agent's number and she can tell you what the fee is. And I would love, you know, you could book me and I would be more than happy to come perform at your wedding. But I'm not doing that. It is because she has this full understanding that if she just performs anytime that she's asked to for free, it devalues her, right? It makes it so that, like, why would you charge an insane amount for this when you do it all the time for free? Tiffany, if comedy is your talent, if comedy is your career, if it's what you do, right? When she turned to you and was like, I'm bored, I want to laugh, and like asked you to do something so she could be entertained, you should turn to her and be like, hey, I can give you my agent's number, and then she can tell you what my booking fee is, and you could book me, and I would be more than happy to show up to your event, grab that mic, and be your entertainment, and make you laugh all night long. But at this moment, I was invited here as an, you know what I'm saying, to enjoy the show, the same way that you were. I am here as a guest, so why would I be entertaining you? And again, it's about her not valuing herself, her not respecting herself. Let's pretend in the world I get paid $500,000 to show up places and give speeches, right? And then one day I get invited to an event for funsies, and I show up to the event to sit there and attend, and they hand me a mic, like, here you go, can you get some speeches since you're here? You know, we would love it. I would turn around and look like, I looked at my bank account, and I don't remember getting paid to speak here. Why the fuck would I get up there and speak for free?
What hurts me the most about the Tiffany Haddish situation is after she did what she did on that runway, the people that worked there, she had an interview with them and she was like, oh no, I hope I get invited again. And they were like, I don't know about next time. You see how they didn't say, I don't know if I could invite Paris Hilton next time? You see how Paris Hilton or none of the Hiltons will never do that? It really solidifies the creators that kept saying that they did it because they didn't think Tiffany Haddish deserved to be there. They humiliated her so that she never gets invited to a runway again. Like, how dare Tiffany Haddish to be invited in a runway? That lady was like, you're going to get up and make a fool of yourself and show that photographer right now. And the way she was commanding Tiffany Haddish to do it right now, the pressure of it was crazy. These people are never, ever going to tell the producers of that runway, hey, we made Tiffany Haddish do it. Hey, you should invite Tiffany Haddish next time. They're never going to stick up for her. You're just never going to see her on a runway ever again. And the internet is chopping her off, and she thinks that this shit is normal. This shit is just hard to watch. This shit is embarrassing.
So, honey, you know what it's giving? It's giving my reputation is already trash. I can barely get booked anymore. I have these DUIs on my record. I have these other really bad allegations on my record. I'm not funny. I annoy a large percentage of people. So why not try to do whatever I can to be seen and heard? Because nobody really likes me anymore. That's what it's given. And it's embarrassing. It's just an embarrassing situation for her, and just further confirmation as to why she's having to force herself to be seen and heard. And it's time for you to just step back and go get therapy so that you can rediscover yourself. Because what you doing, that ain't it.
Yeah, someone asked her to do it, but it wasn't the designer. It wasn't the person who was throwing that event that asked her to do it. They dared her to do it pretty much, to go out there. And if you could tell, when she finally got around there and cut through, she cut directly in front of a model. Do you think the person that was running that asked her to go and cut off one of the models at the opening of a show? Highly doubtful, right?
You know, I consider myself to be an empath of some sort. You know what I'm saying? I think that I'm very good at being able to put myself in another person's shoes and understand the perspective of somebody, even if that ain't my initial way of thinking. Even if I would never do or say or think that way, oftentimes I'll say, you know what? Let me try to see it from that angle. Maybe I'm missing something. Let me just see. Let me try to understand their perspective and where they're coming from. And I take pride in being able to do that for almost everyone. The person I can't do it for is Tiffany Haddish. Like, I can't for the life of me understand or even try to understand why Tiffany Haddish feels the need to coon out every room she's invited in. Like, every room she doing some coon type shit, and it's weird. Like, it's hella weird. First, you was on the runway at the Met Gala, wherever that shit was, and you had fried chicken in your purse. You thought that shit was funny to pull it out and show them that you carry fried chicken in your purse. Cool. Now you at the fashion show and you interrupt the runway by trying to act like you in the show and doing the model walk because Paris Hilton and her two fucking white girl friends told your ass to do it. And you look crazy. Every single chance Tiffany Haddish gets, she gonna coon some shit out. I don't know. Like, does she think she funny? Like, what is it? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not supposed to get everything. For me, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I don't understand why she feels the need to get into these spaces and just coon out. That shit is disgusting, bro.
I had no idea when people were laughing in the middle of her ending, and I was like, did the producer something wrong? And then everybody was like, Tiffany. She destroyed everyone with laughter.
We did the whole walk.
I walked the whole thing. I almost went down the stairs. And I walked around to my seat when I was sitting again. I was like, into my seat like I wasn't doing anything. I knew I made a mistake when I put the two of you together.
Love that.
That's good. I mean,
A danger.
first of all, the Haddish shit with the Hilton, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a memorable moment for everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope I get invited again. Because when I got up, the man said, wait.
What did you guys think about Tiffany Haddish crashing that runway yesterday? Did your opinion change once finding out it was a dare from Kathy Hilton? I'll play the video and then I'll give you my 2 cents.
Right now, you go down and you tell this photographer, on the floor, you gotta do it now. Right now. Do it. Wait. Yes, now. That's going on.
My immediate thought watching this mature woman of a certain age crash the runway was that the fashion show in itself was enough and we didn't need a minstrel show to go along with it. I enjoy watching Kathy Hilton on The Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think she's one of the better character additions and I find her aloofness to be comical. With that, nobody thought about the optics of what that looked like. A lot of people are going to look at that video and they're going to see a fun, lighthearted moment between friends or associates. But with that, the optics, the yes, get up and do it right now, didn't sit well with my spirit. Everybody laughing at you because they weren't laughing with you as this lady causes a disruption. None of it looked right. And on top of that, I actually found it to be rude and disrespectful to the designer. But I guess the press afterwards is going to be helpful. I don't know. The entire interaction was strange. But those are my thoughts. What are yours?
Tiffany Haddish is famous because she profits off of the black women stereotype. Loud, ghetto, obnoxious, extra. That's pretty much been every single role that she's ever had in any movie. But the reason that no-lip having ass bitch Kathy told you to get up and walk around that fucking room was because she did not think that somebody like you is supposed to be in the same spaces as people like her and her daughter. She thinks that people that look like you are only in spaces like that for entertainment purposes. She tried you and you let her. Because me personally, I would have said, well, if it's such an iconic moment, why won't you ask your own fucking daughter to get up and do it? Because if it was so iconic, that would definitely have helped Paris Hilton out, right? Because, I mean, in the last 5 years, I haven't really seen Paris Hilton headlining for anything that anybody gave a fuck about. So wouldn't that have helped her out? I went to school with bitches like Paris Hilton and her mother. They always trying to get you to try some shit that they would never do. She knew damn well that that shit was going to be disrespectful and that it was not runway or fashion show etiquette. She also knew that you were the type of black person that is always feeling the need to be validated by your white counterpart. So she did what white people like her do. Paris Hilton has a racist past. I want y'all to know that. They're not laughing with you. They're laughing at you. I say this all the time, but now y'all see it in real time. When I was watching that video, I did get secondhand embarrassment. But deep down, I also felt a little bit of sadness for Tiffany Haddish. Because you are not able to stand in your blackness and have that same respect that you give to white people to yourself. And that makes me really sad.
Tiffany Haddish will go down regretting her choice at the New York Fashion Week. The stunt that she did of walking the runway at a show that was not hers to walk. Not because she did it, but why she did it. And I just watched a video and there was a comment on it regarding this that was saying those Hilton women would have never done this to like Beyonce. And there's a reason for this. When you move into a new town, the vultures, they can pick out the newcomer who needs them. Bullies and mean girls can like spot a pick-me from a mile away. And a pick-me is someone with low self-esteem. When you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. And that's what happened here. Tiffany Haddish did not have the self-esteem as you would have seen Beyonce in this moment. Because first of all, the Hilton people would have never even attempted to ask Beyonce to do this because they would have felt by her very presence, her very aura would have let the Hiltons know to never ask Beyonce to do this sort of stunt. So I want you to tap into the energy of Beyonce versus the energy of Tiffany Haddish in this moment and how they victimized Tiffany because she was victimizable. She was a pick-me energy. She was leaning into them for approval.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope I get invited again. Because when I got up, the man said,
It's giving my reputation is already trash. I can barely get booked anymore. I have these DUIs on my record. I have these other really bad allegations on my record. I'm not funny. I annoy a large percentage of people. So why not try to do whatever I can to be seen in her? Because nobody really likes me anymore. That's what it's given. And it's embarrassing. It's just an embarrassing.
There is no way I would ever go to a runway show that I was invited to. That I was invited to, that I did not create. Okay? Get my happy ass up and walk around the runway. Tiffany Haddish got invited to a runway show, and instead of sitting her ass in a seat and enjoying the show, she walked around the runway. And what made it worse was she allowed 3 grown adult women to tell her what to do. It was giving Slave Master and the Slaves. The Hiltons could have said jump, and she would have said how high. How high? And I know the Hiltons are the problem, but baby, nobody's talking about the Hiltons because you're a grown adult. You have the willpower to do what you want to do, but you allowed 3 grown adult women to tell you what to do. I can't feel sorry for stupidity. You allowed them to laugh in your face. They was laughing at you. They was like, let's make the black girl walk. Come on, bruh. Do you think Paris Hilton would do that? Do you think any of the Hiltons would get up and do that? No, they knew you would because you're the clown. They're the ringleaders and they're telling you to jump and you're jumping. You're going through the hoops and all because they would never. So unfortunately, I can't even get mad at the Hiltons because anybody that would follow along with that kind of shit, something's wrong with that picture. And I'm not going to hold y'all. I have never thought Tiffany Haddish was funny. It never gave funny to me. Like, I would watch her stand-ups and her movies and I would be sitting there like, where's the joke? It always gave corny to me. Tiffany Haddish is one of those girls who is just annoyingly not funny. Like, the jokes just never hit. That runway show reminded me of when Little Mama got on stage with Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. What are you doing here? That's what it was giving. And I think what annoys me the most is the fact that sometimes some of these celebrities think because they're quote-unquote celebrities that they can just get away with doing whatever they want and the rules just don't apply to them. And then here go Tiffany Haddish walking around with that big old Steve Harvey suit. Ma'am, sit down. Everybody knows the cardinal rule to going to a runway show, especially a show that somebody worked very hard to create these designs for. The cardinal rule to do is sit your ass down and enjoy the show from your seat. Some of y'all favorite celebs are corny as hell in real life. Cornball. Being a celebrity does not give you a pass, okay? I need y'all celebrities to get this through your head. I think the limelight has clouded your judgment. I think the amount of followers has made you see yourself in a different light. You are still held accountable for your actions. If you commit a crime, you're going to jail. No amount of money and followers will save you. If you break a rule, there are consequences. That's why we got to stop holding celebrities so high up, because there are things that we would never do that your fave will do in a heartbeat. So idolize your mama, sister, uncle, auntie, friend, best friend, and idolize them.
Do y'all remember when Marlon, fine ass Wayne, that man was so fine. Do y'all remember when he was on the Ellen DeGeneres show, right? And I think Tiffany Haddish was like guest hosting or whatever the hell she was doing. It was like, Tiffany, we love you, but you do too goddamn much.
Hire people and you cast people. You were always funny, but you was always on 10. And you was just, sometimes you just be like inappropriate. It's like a love scene and you want to sit on the actor's lap and fart. And it's like, no, Tiffany.
I'm starting to see what he's saying because, girl, you're sitting at a runway show, right? Eggs crossed. Speaking to the Hiltons. And the Hiltons are like, definitely go up there and walk. Like, Tiffany, go walk. Go walk, Tiffany. You actually get up there and you walk. I ain't gonna lie, Paris Hilton was literally looking like Regina George. Okay, Miss George. But Tiffany, why are you walking at a runway show that you were just only invited to? You were there to watch, not walk. Don't be a Tiffany Haddish, you guys. She just been messing up like a whole lot. A whole lot. She been messing up a whole lot.
Do you guys remember the days when La Roche used to be Tiffany Haddish's stylist and would be sitting next to her at some of these fashion shows and dressing her and really elevated her style? Do you think if he was sitting next to her at this fashion show for New York Fashion Week that he would have allowed Paris Hilton or Kathy Hilton to have her make a fool of herself? As a grown woman, how do you allow someone to make you do something that you know is incorrect? Even on a dare, you know that it's incorrect. You know the proper etiquette for a fashion show. You embarrassed yourself. Now you think that they're laughing with you and they're laughing at you. No person, I don't care who it is, socialite, elite, could allow me to make a mockery of myself. It just couldn't happen.
I want to talk about Tiffany Haddish and the Hiltons at New York Fashion Week. I'm going to stay in my lane. I specifically want to talk about a personal story that I have with Tiffany Haddish and her team, because I think that it's on creators to call out the actions of the Hiltons in this scenario. So I met Tiffany Haddish and her team in the fall of 2021. I was running the #1 morning show on Clubhouse, which, listen, I know in 2024 might not sound like much, but at the time, we had some serious momentum. We had a community of 100,000. We would have 10,000 daily active listeners come through the room. We had 100,000 podcast downloads in 75 days. Like, we were doing something. And I was president and COO of Breakfast with Champions, and I knew I wanted to do something for Giving Tuesday. And Tiffany Haddish popped in the room one morning. A lot of celebrities would kind of pop in and out of Clubhouse rooms during the pandemic. And she and I connected over DM. And then based off of that, I ended up connecting with the executive director of her foundation, the She Ready Foundation for Foster Youth. So So we partnered together for Giving Tuesday, and it's actually like one of the things I'm most proud of in my time there. We raised $50,000 in 6 hours for foster youth. And again, through this, I built a relationship with the executive director of her foundation. And when I went to LA a few months later, we met for coffee, and she talked to me all about everything charitable that Tiffany wanted to do in the community, not just supporting foster youth, but also that she cared about things like, you know, food deserts and access to healthy foods. And like, I really feel like I got to know her charitable aspirations through the executive director of her foundation. But here's why I'm bringing all this up. So as we were setting up the Giving Tuesday event, so my like original background before I got into editorial and on my marketing agency, I worked in the nonprofit sector. My first job, I worked at the National Nonprofit for the UN Refugee Agency. And I remember when we were trying to raise money, you would have these like rate cards, for lack of a better way to explain it. So instead of just telling people, you know, give us this much money, give us this much money, give us this much money, you would translate those into real things. You would say, this donation will provide a refugee family with a tent. This donation will provide a refugee family with emergency medical care. You know, this donation will provide a refugee family with blankets, right? Whatever the case may be. So I remember asking the executive director of the She Ready Foundation for those similar kind of like price points that we could share out with our audience when we were raising money on Giving Tuesday. And one of the things that I remember her talking about, and you can find interviews where Tiffany Haddish talks about this, they talked about the fact that one of their lowest tier donations was just for a suitcase. It was X amount of dollars for a suitcase because one of the things that Tiffany had experienced as a foster youth herself, you know, growing up in the foster care system, was the fact that she would go from place to place with her possessions in a trash bag. And she talked about how personally dehumanizing that was, and how even if you can just give a child the dignity of carrying their things from place to place in a suitcase instead of a trash bag, how meaningful that was. And I remember that story because like I literally, even whenever I donate, like my daughters grow out of clothes, I grew up kind of seeing donations in trash bags, and I didn't realize how dehumanizing it was to act like, here's my trash. So I'm super thoughtful now about like all of my donations, like what bag are they in? And that just really resonated with me. Here's why I'm bringing this up. Because when we want to talk about archetypal mean girl behavior, Tiffany Haddish's childhood, it's documented. Like, I'm not saying anything that she hasn't said in interviews, was her going from one foster home to the next with her possessions in a trash bag. Nikki and Paris Hilton grew up at these fashion shows. If anyone knows the decorum that's expected at these fashion shows, it's Nikki and Paris Hilton. That's literally their upbringing. And so, as I said, it's like archetypal mean girl behavior to look at the new girl, to look at the outsider and challenge her to something that then everyone is going to make videos about. Why would she do this? It's so embarrassing. It's so this, it's so that. Like, that is gross mean girl behavior. And I have to tell you, I'm most disappointed to see it from Paris Hilton. And it's always like you're more disappointed by the people who you care about, believe in, would want to work with. Like, the thing is that, like, I honestly don't know anything about Nikki Hilton. I know it's not even her last name anymore. I don't know anything about Kathy Hilton. Like, literally, the last time I watched Bravo, Kyle and Kim were the Hilton sisters that were, you know, on Beverly Hills Housewives. But Paris has really made incredible moves in the past like 5 years. And even more so like year over year. I mean, in the past 18 months alone, the advocacy that she has taken on Capitol Hill for, you know, childhood victims of abuse and who went through similar programs that she went through, like, she has become an advocate for children. She has, you know, had really honest and hard conversations about abuse and PTSD. The investments that she's made in Web3 and in tech have been super interesting and super savvy. She's dropped the baby voice. Like, she's kind of kept the brand that has kept her in the public eye. But, like, she has made so many moves that, like, I have been watching her in awe, and I'm so disappointed to see her part of this archetypal mean girl behavior. And again, it just goes to show that, like, you are who you surround yourself with, and we actually see that sometimes, right? So, like, you'll see these kind of like old money boarding school type of behaviors, and sometimes you'll see someone like leave the nest and adopt a different value set, and then they go back, and it's so disappointing to see that that's how they would behave. It's such mean girl behavior. It's just so, like, you want to know who's lacking taste and decorum. I think to be born into that social set and dare someone who wasn't to do something that would make everyone laugh at them. It's like a moment that you would expect to see in like a teen coming of age comedy from like the Mean Girl. As I said, it's just archetypal high school mean girl behavior. Anyway, that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments.
So, Tiffany's moment was unfortunate, but it's just a reminder to all of us. Don't let anyone trick you into becoming the reason for their narrative. Ladies, hold on to your elegance, your professionalism, and your poise, especially in places where you're one of the few Black faces. The goal is to break down the barriers, not reinforce them. We can be loud, funny, and full of life, but there's a time and a place for everything. Knowing when to switch it up is what keeps us thriving in all places. Still be yourself, Rych Babes. So with that being said, let me know in the comments what you think about this situation. Should Tiffany had handled this differently, or do you think that it was just all good fun? What do you think about the Hiltons and them demanding her to do it right now? It's a dare, but she was the only Black girl to do it. Oh my God. Anyway, and as always, stay classy, stay rich, and protect your energy, Rych Babes. I love you all, Rych Babes.